Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
The Rumble, Matt Strange, and this is...
Head Insight, Muir.
Money Plane.
Money Plane.
How are you two feeling today?
I'm pretty sure I drank over 16 beers last night.
Oh dear.
I am not good. And I'm normally the man who can drink forever, just get up and laugh going past people. I feel like there are no fluids in my body that aren't desperado. It's awful. And I think Muir's just dead.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Morg? It's going to be you tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm okay. Unfortunately, I let the side down last night, so I haven't watched Double or Nothing yet because the Raptors had to work today. So we're going to watch it together tonight because we're both off tomorrow. And then tomorrow you will...
So we've got to make it through this... Have the recording for the next one. We've got to make it through this entire show without spoiling anything for you, Morg. This is going to be, this is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I'm up for the challenge, he says, through his aching body that's had 3 poos today.
So this is probably going to be a very short show. For many reasons, we'll have another show that will release tomorrow. So, as usual, this show will go up on Tuesday, and then the pay-per-view show will go up on Wednesday, reviewing Double or Nothing. But this may be the first time you've listened to our podcast, and as such, you would need to know we have a tier list, which is how we give our rankings for overall of BTE and Dynamite and for the individual matches on Dynamite. You may notice we're not reviewing any form of Dark this week.
It's too much wrestling.
It's their own fault for moving wrestling to Fridays.
Yes.
That really fucks me over. But here we are.
Mr. Strange, would you like to explain our tier list?
Oh, I should have done it in an exciting way, but I didn't prep anything. I suppose I could throw out... endeavour to do it on the fly in the form of battle bots from...
Battle bots? I forgot about battle bots.
But I'm going to need... How we spent 6 hours watching Robot... It's Robot Wars, but with 15 years of technology advancements.
It wasn't 6 hours. It was more like 12. Come on.
Oh yeah, good point.
I feel I need to watch this.
Mate, it's fucking great. Anyway, a tier list. Letters for order of how good matches. Fuck English. We started our lowest ranking match, which is a D rank match. That's a bad match. There's no story. You don't care about it. You're playing on your phone. Your time's passed by. A bit like every time Warrior Clan enters the ring in BattleBots.
Oh, mate. Don't hurt me like this, bro. I feel personally
I know
bad.
you love them, and I know they look great, but all they do is eat shit.
Yeah, mate, they're terrible. I fully accept that.
Yeah. A D-rank match is a match you don't need to watch. It shouldn't have been there, and it's made everybody unhappy. I'm sure we won't need any of those this week. From there, we rock up to a C. A C is what we want from a match. It's a good match. It's going to have story. It's going to have good wrestling. Sure, it's not going to blow your mind for the night, but you've had a good time whilst you've been watching it. Everything sort of come together to a lovely, good experience. A C-rank experience. Like watching, let's go with Voodoo. Voodoo's an alright one. It's got a little side one. It's got some story. They've got some kit. And you get to watch have an atomic meltdown in one issue. C-rank match. Pretty good. Nice little bit of colour. We like that. From there, we roll up to a B. Match +1. It's got to have story. I want to know why they're in the ring. That wrestling's got to be crisp. I want to see some cool moves. It's better than good, but it's not amazing. You've had enjoyable, really enjoyable, not quite the cream of the crop. Like, what's good? What's another battle bot in there? Come on, it's a big
Red Devil. That was fun.
Oh, fucking Red Devil was sick. It had a big pneumatic claw and a circular saw, and it could do flary stuff. That's what you want. A circular saw in your mouth. Yeah, a little bit of flair, a Ric Flair. From there, we rock up to an A. A is the probably your match of the night. Everything's good in there. I want story and I want to know why they're in the ring. Hopefully we've got story out as well. I want nice, clean, crisp, good moves all the way through. I want my eyes to be locked to that screen. I want to be like, what happens next? Why are they here? This is wicked. Like whenever I see my personal favorite battle bot, Bronco, in the arena. Bronco, who can flip one of those full industrial water tubs that they use for covering airsoft. Bronco, who could flip a 250-pound robot 6 feet in the air and 12 feet across the arena. That's what I want. I want a name, I want character, I want story. I want to go, fuck, that was awesome. From the top there, we rock up to S, Superior, Sugoi. Strange. S is the top rank of the match. I want paradigms blown. I want story, direction, fucking great spots, cool moves, luchadors, ninjas. I want my mind to be blown. I want character. I want to fucking understand anything. I want it to be like when a man shows up at the first ever BattleBots tournament with his his bot called Tombstone, and declares he's going to be the final boss of the tournament. And you know what?
What?
He is. I want to see devastation reached. I want to see flair in the ring. I want to see showmanship. That's what you get with Tombstone. So that's it. D's a shitty match. C is a good match. B is match +1. A is amazing. And S is legendary. There we go, Morg. I improvised. Oh,
Sorry for the pause. I'm just Googling BattleBots. I feel this is a thing I need in my life.
It's great.
So be prepared next week for our BattleBots podcast.
Yeah, the BattleBots podcast. This is a Bronco household.
Moving on. News. A couple of pieces of news we picked up this week. Do you want to lead off with the slightly worrying one, Mr. Strange, and then I'll go into the worrying one in a different way.
Spanish hiring more
from
people.
More on that later. The Spanish commentator Willie Urbina has been released from AEW after doing accent jokes about Shida, shall we say. Which, although a common piece of comedy in the early 80s and 90s, and in I've forgotten the name of the police film with Mel Gibson in. But either way, you can't do it anymore. It's bad and you shouldn't mock your champion. And he's been released. Goodbye, Willie. It's all right. They've still got Alex and...
Did they free Willie?
they have, in fact, free Willie, Nick. Yes.
You mean they've got,
Don't be racist, people.
They've got the two that we all know, and they've got rid of the one that we don't.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically. Go on then, Morg. Let's shred this other piece of news.
Sorry.
It's gone.
Yeah, I'm back. I had a little bit of an internet splutter. Moving on from there. So this one's kind of worrying in a different way. Dub-Z are apparently, or WWE, if you're not used to our terminology, are currently apparently in talks with New Japan to become their only US affiliated wrestling brand. This probably follows on from their we don't like the fact that everybody thinks we're insular. That's because you are insular. And they've gone for New Japan. If this goes through,
we don't like the fact everybody. It won't. If this goes through, it'll kill NJP easily.
If this goes through, it'll hurt AEW. It'll hurt Ring of Honor. The other thing is, let's be honest. Do you want to see Naito jobbed out in the mid card?
Oh, wait for his feud, right? And with Baron Corbin. What are you talking about?
No. That'll be a Carter's feud. A Carter will get Baron Corbin.
This won't happen. Already, people are already starting to jump ship from NJPW already. All of the people they've got who actually work in other companies and such, like, are really good mates with AEW and Ring of Honor people. All the people who went to NJPW are people who largely fled WWE and hated there. WWE doesn't know how to work with other companies, and WWE fans don't watch other promotions.
If you're shit. Yeah, don't give a shit.
WWE fans. How many WWE fans do we know who won't watch AEW just because it's something different? We've had WWE fans going on about how they don't understand Orange Cassidy and how this gimmick's stupid, whilst at the same time lauding a magical clown. You know. WWE fans don't watch other shows. It's going to do nothing for NJPW. All of their actual, like, connected with other business people are connected with people in Ring of Honor and AEW. And WWE doesn't know how to play with people. Look, we're going to prove to people we know how to play with the world. We're getting the only exclusive contract with this place, so they can't play with anyone else. Brilliant, Vince. Brilliant.
It's all down to how much money's thrown at Bushiroad, to be honest,
That's
guys.
where
As
the
much as
problem is.
as much as you love to say, oh, they won't do this and that, and you know, why does
they
WWE
might, but it'll kill them.
Yeah, I agree with you, but maybe they want to get out the rest.
Back to Dragon Gate.
Yeah. The main issue here is, like, they've had Shinsuke Nakamura, they've had AJ Styles, they've had multiple NJPW, champions, and they do fucking all with them. So why do you want the rest of the fucking card,
Because AEW wants them, and whatever AEW wants, Vince has to stop.
Yes, mate.
Bless him. It'll be interesting to watch anyway. I can't wait for Shingo to go back to Dragon Gate. That'll be nice.
So, next on our list, Mr. Strange, I believe you have a social media for us this week.
Well, it's not so much a social media. I'm going to be honest with you, Morg. I've tricked you a little bit. I've thrown you a sideline. I've been bamboozling. Because not only did I discover BattleBots this week.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Is it?
I discovered I think it's a 2016 series called Robot Combat League, which is like a kick people out of the tournament. They're in teams and they have to do engineering and stuff to learn how to manage these 12-foot robots, as basically two people play Rock'em Sock'em Robots with 12-foot punchy robot things. Commentated by fucking Chris Jericho.
Oh, yes. I remember this.
I had never heard of this, and I was looking for some... What we like to do before a pay-per-view is pick something to watch, like the night before. Earlier this year, it was competitive Tetris, Boom Tetris for Dog. It's been a variety of things, and we were looking for different things. And Robot Combat League, mate, it's every terrible American show where teams are slowly kicked out until there's only, like, 2 left in the final, and they do challenges and stuff. But man, can Chris Jericho sell anything. He's having a great time. He embiggens the smaller man. It's fucking wicked, and it's well worth a look. It's hard to find anywhere, but if you add streaming or daily motion to the end of the words Robot Combat League, you'll probably find it.
This sounds...
Well, we are now, is it?
This sounds like a thing we might need to do as a review one day.
Yeah, I suppose I'll also put a shout out to Anthony Ogogo's Twitter stream, where people have been calling him a baby face for the entirety of like the last few weeks, and he's done things like put up a picture of him in front of Mount Rushmore, calling them slave owners and saying a bunch of divvy Americans come here to worship this. He put up a picture of himself with the Nightmare People burst with bus wankers written next to it, which made me laugh. He's having a good time. He's being a Brit, for something actually relevant. But we'll discuss more about that tomorrow, Morg.
Okay, so moving on. It's that time of the week. It's time for our review of the week. And as I mentioned earlier, this week, because of the amount of wrestling we had to watch and the shifting of Dynamite, unfortunately, there will not be the usual review of Dark, which means, Mr. Strange, you're getting a day off.
Thank God, I need it, bro. My blood hurts.
So, the kickoff... Go on.
No, I was just going to start introducing for you. Do it, bro. You're in charge.
So, as always, we start the week with BTE, or Being the Elite, Mr. Muir.
Oh, God. Right, so this starts with the Bucks moaning about losing their shoes. I just don't care about the shoes angle. If anyone wants to add anything about shoes, please feel free. Cool. Right, we get some more chick shots by Nick. That was pretty good.
Actually, I do want to comment that I thought Nick was hilarious in this. And is Nick actually the funnier of the two? We know Matt's the better talker.
Yes.
But is Nick actually the funnier?
We've always We always love his deadpan humour.
And his ability to just cry like an absolute child. I mean, that was serious level. That was not acting crying where you bring tears to your eyes. That was like a child who's lost their favourite toy. I actually found it quite amusing, but mainly due to Nick's sell.
Yeah, fair. I like him on the trick shots. Good shot, Daddy. Of course it is, because I'm the best dad in the world.
Oh, healing it to his kids.
I like the trick shots. Yeah, it's great. Go on, more. Muir.
On to the Hollywood hunk, just doing the same bit from last week. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We move on to Peter signing the Catcher in the Rye for Lever, and then he leaves it behind.
I really like this.
He was dragged away, and Reynolds then steals it and signs afterwards.
He's out chatting him.
Yeah, just dominating him. Then we move on to the Ali and Brandon feud. I thought this was over, but it carries on. She destroys a Pop-Tart. They carry on feuding. Then we move on. Then we move on to Rocky Romero and Trent, which I found hilarious.
It was great.
They were just slagging off.
The boys are back in town.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, it would have been good if they had the boys back in town. I love how they were just slagging everyone off, including Dustin, right in front of his face. Just going, I hate all my other tag team partners.
It's how it panned slightly to the left, panned back, and Chuck was there.
Yes, mate.
Oh, I'm glad Rocky's with them. Fucking love them and Rocky together. NJPW old indie things for those who are not from that part of the wrestling world.
And we move on to Silver comes in because they're all wearing shades, and then he gets kicked in the balls by all of them and screams about his sack being broken again. Then the best friends wander off smoking, which, okay.
To be fair, Chuck's the only one who was actually smoking.
Lad. Then we move on to...
I think it was actually out for most of it, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Then we move on to the Hollywood hunk, interviewing Trent to ask him a question. Trent knows the answer because he told him like 2 days ago, and then he just tries to leave, which I found funny. Then we got the...
Trent's got dynamic with the Ziggler family.
He's just great. Then we move on to Sammy and his mate on this show instead of on their podcast. Going to see
the two-way thing with the belt coming back.
Yeah, hand the belt over. It took a bit long, but Brandon Cutler wins his first belt from some weird flicky game.
But I was glad the belt's back. It did sort of disappear.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's back because I think it, adds a lot to the thing. Then we move on to a casino advert in the middle of it for their casino game. If anyone wants to talk about that, I don't care. We move on to the Dark Order drawing, which is quite fun. They're drawing. Una draws Taz. Reynolds draws himself beating Matt Hardy. Ken draws that he has a cocaine problem, but then throws it away, so hopefully he's getting some development with that. Five then draws himself being beaten up by the rest of them.
Poor Five.
It's hilarious. Silver then draws Five being fucked by a horse. For some reason.
Yeah, he did.
I love the you do fuck horses, don't you? No. He gets fucked by horses.
It's so good. Anything which appeals to my inner 12-year-old.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Then Hangman drew him on a horse with all of the rest of the Dark Order watching. Then Stu draws Anna, which is, like one of those downloadable app things where it flips it to make it look like a picture as a canvas, while everybody else was drawing stick figures. And Una just goes, "Oh, that art like the colourification finally coming in handy." Then
Silver, the best part of it, which
Silver just screaming out, "No girl that hot would hang out with us," made me laugh. Then Hangman has to leave because he's got to go tag with Edge, which made me laugh. Oh shit, I've got to go tag with Edge. And then when everybody had left, Stu looks over the picture that Hangman drew, and Hangman had drew Anna in the background of his picture. So now Stu realizes that someone else remembers that Anna did exist.
The best thing was that she wasn't on there when he first showed the
Yes,
picture.
mate.
That's what got me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love what they're doing with this. I love Stu Grayson. I think he is hilarious. I'm loving this. Only he remembers Anna thing.
Fucking great. I love it.
Wonderful.
Then we move on to the best friends not doing their podcast at all, where they just talk shit in front of a camera, you know,
Yeah.
which I always enjoy. Trent can't choose a bird. Chuck is anti-pretzel. There's other things that happen in this, you know.
You can't have
No,
two
there's
bowls
much
of
Just
more
bring
to
back
say
cereal.
our
about
best
that.
friends. Can't have 2 bowls of cereal.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Then the wingmen are having their team building exercise.
Oh God.
P.T. Drake's getting yogurt confused with yogurt.
The
terrible
Kama Sutra.
Yeah. Then Caesar Bononi pulls out this yoga book that's the Kama Sutra. And they all argue with J.T. Drake for a while that no, it's definitely a yoga book. Then he tells them to flip to certain pages. And they're like, oh no, this is not.
This is not the.
This is not a yoga book. And then
Has BTE just become 12-year-old boy jokes like
Yeah,
everywhere? Or is it me?
yes, this was 30 minutes of boy jokes. You know, terrible boy
Good.
jokes. So then we move on to Matt basically moaning about Eddie, saying he doesn't really know him and shit like that. And just carries on for like 5 minutes. It's a good enough
Oh, yeah, it's
promo.
Matt's promo time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good enough.
It's becoming a standard.
Yeah, but this one didn't deserve to be on Dynamite, in my opinion. Though we had things we could have cut from Dynamite to put that in, it would have been better. But yeah, it's what it is. Yeah, it was a solid BTA. I enjoyed myself quite a lot with this one, especially the Dark Order
I'm with you.
drawing storyline, because I just find it funny. Stu just makes me laugh because he's such a straight guy, and now he's just playing this, you know, character that's losing his mind, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's my absolute favourite thing about it at the moment as well. And they've done some brilliant switches, like adding the picture in at the same time. As much as I've gone at times, I'm getting a bit tired of seeing the Dark Order every week, and I do eventually get bored of dick jokes. Stu being the only one who imagines Anna is great, and I love it. It's my favourite thing. And the trick shots, keep them. I think they're great. Keep Nick. Just let Nick do a weird thing on every season, basically.
Good
show.
merch free for one time though, and time only.
Yeah.
So, what score are we giving it?
I give it a B.
I thought it was good. I gave it
Yeah,
a
I'm
B.
with you.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. There wasn't much dragged. There was a couple of bits that were a bit meh.
Yeah, or irrelevant, but
Yeah, the BTE title bit was a bit too long. I think they could have condensed all the. I think it's time to stop the Bucks are heels thing.
Ooh, they are heels.
Yeah, and that one with Brandon, the intro to that with the shoes was just a bit too much. You could have just got on with it. They could have gone straight into they could have cornered Sammy or something and gone, look, that belt's not worth anything. They could have done their whole belt's not worth anything and done their challenge. I did for a second think they were going to be playing D&D or something when they said a game that Brandon's particularly good at.
yeah, fair.
So, moving on from there, we move on to Dynamite. Dynamite opens, JR, Shivani, Excalibur on commentary, and first match of the night, Darby Allin with Sting versus Cesar Bononi with Peter Avalon, Ryan Nemeth, and JD Drake. Darby wins with the coffin drop. Thoughts and scores?
I have 4 notes on this match. I did not think a lot of this match.
No.
That's not a good, there's not much notes here. I think Bononi is of a power tier and fame level where he deserves an intro.
Right.
And
If only
on
there
the
was
other
somewhere
hand-
they could cut time on this show for that.
But Benoni's not got great strikes yet, and the camera wasn't helping him. A lot of his kicks and punches just obviously missed. There wasn't any chemistry between them, and I can't say there was anything to pop to in this match. Like I kind of went, that was a match. Is this just to remind us that Darby can win? Very skippable in my opinion. I gave it a D.
I've got my only note about this match was it was a botchy mess, and it's nice to have a crowd back. So,
Morg, come on, you're. Are you ready to return to your role of being the positive team member? After
I'm not sure. Looking at, I did give this a C because it was a match. It was a match. It had a beginning, middle, and end. It had a heel beat down. It had a babyface comeback. So I, although it didn't set me on fire, I really enjoyed listening to the crowd chanting for Darby, and we got a good idea of who is really over. I mean, really over with having a crowd back.
I'll wait until they're actually touring to decide that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
This is still, it's still a Jacksonville crowd, but having a full crowd, you get a better idea.
Huge difference, mate.
But yes, so I gave it a C because it was a match. It wasn't a squash. It wasn't. It was just a match.
Need more
so.
C needs to be good, Morg.
Yes.
C needs to be good.
Yeah.
Let's
should be the average match we expect. Yeah. Let's carry on.
This wasn't the start to the pre-pay-per-view show for your new Friday development. Your new Friday standout. Bad.
Yeah.
So after that, Darby calls out Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Ethan and Scorpio cut a promo. The Pretty People attack Darby and Sting, with Ethan and Sky joining in, and Dark Order for the save. It's pretty predictable, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I do enjoy the Dark Order's save for this one, but it's very predictable.
Yeah, it had a lot of heart and soul in it. And Team Ego Problem did pretty well on the mic. They've got better as a promo-y team. Yeah, it's a nice section. I just would have popped for it more had it followed a match I enjoyed.
Yes.
I meant to say this at the beginning, so I'll say it now because it's still quite close to the beginning. I would like to remind our listeners that we have a theory about AEW's go-home shows before their pay-per-views. We will see if that holds true. After that, we had the Cody and Ogogo weigh-in, hosted by Paul White.
Oh, great. My favourite things.
I'm just going to scream. The weigh-in. I quite liked Paul White saying no shenanigans. How can you have shenanigans in a weigh-in? How can you cheat at it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see those 5 kilo weights in your pocket hidden.
Oh!
The factory have now got a mystery additional 5th man who just seemed to be like, I don't know, Anthony Ogogo's hipster friend. I'm not entirely sure. Cody comes out with an entire army. My most entertaining part in this was they dropped the flags in front of, 1/4 of the audience. Like, I could just see this little, head, leaning around the American flag for the entirety of it, trying to see what was happening. Made me laugh.
The show.
No, why did nobody teach Big Show how to use scales before he had to do this?
Mate,
were they like, oh, do you know how to use scales, Big Show? Did he lie? Or did they just assume he could use scales? Then some fireworks went off during it. So not only is it a boring waste of time that proves nothing, and is just a time-consuming ego project, it was badly done. It turns out Anthony Ogogo is 453 grams heavier than Cody. Thus, I'm like, did they expect him to be more to celebrate that moment a bit? In your face, Cody. As opposed to you're the underdog, you weigh 1 bag of sugar less than me. I don't care for these. It dragged the show down. It was boring, slow, and I'm giving it a D again.
Thank you. My main issue with this is, why are we having weigh-ins when they don't have any form of weight categories at AEW? Surely
Cody likes weigh-ins.
I know, But in storyline, what purpose do these weigh-ins have? What is the point of them? Because the point of a weigh-in is these two fighters are under this weight category so they can fight in this division or whatever.
They are in the correct division.
Yes.
Cody things, mate.
I know,
Cody
but it's
things.
fucking shit.
Why do we have America versus England plotline?
I don't know. I'm just tired, okay? I'm just tired of it.
Tired of this. I'm tired of Cody things.
I am tired of Cody things. Definitely an answer to that. Yeah.
Come on, Morg. Positivity. You can bring it back.
You both gave it a D, yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a fucking F. This was atrocious.
Yeah,
nothing was good about
right.
this whatsoever. This was absolutely terrible. I appreciate the weigh-in because if you hadn't done it before, it'd been all right because you're doing it with Anthony Ogogo, so you're doing it with the boxer. That's, I don't want to say clever, but it would have been.
But it worked.
But it was bollocks. The only good thing about this was right at the end was QT doing the celebration of him being 1 pound heavier, but that was the only point of the 1 pound heavier, which meant nothing. And Ogogo going to the different corners. Ogogo showed some charisma doing his, but this was absolute bollocks, and it was a waste of time.
Anything else on this show?
You could have given so much to other things.
Yeah, 100%. Just
yeah, it's not. Yeah, I cannot be positive about this. I don't know if it's entirely Cody. He just happens to be the one captured in that storyline. Right.
Oh, it is Cody.
Following on from that, we had a Stadium Stampede promo from Inner Circle and Pinnacle. I thought it was all right. You guys?
Really well done recap. Really well done recap. And I wrote down on my notes that Sam is clearly going to run over MJF. With his run over the heel man, it's about time sort of thing. I thought it was a good film trailer, basically. They hit the right beats of music, going to the right sort of quotes, good stuff. Got me excited for the Stadium Stampede.
It was solid.
Following on from that, Hobbs attacks Christian Cage backstage. This only let me and the Raptor both going, can we just have a hardcore backsstage match between these two, please? Because that was quite good for a couple of seconds.
I love behind the stage fights. I love it when things go dubsy-dub. Back in the old Mega Drive game and PlayStation games, I'd be the first person to take that wrestling match into the kitchen area or whatever. Fucking good stuff. Loved it. And although it was short, I'm going to round it in with the Inner Circle promo and give the Stadium Stampede. Give this whole section a little B. This brought a little bit of joy back to my life after the after the fucking weigh-in.
If that had been a bit longer, I would have been giving it an A. If they'd brawled a bit more,
yes,
that was a solid bit of backstage brawling. Moving on from there, Taz joins commentary, and we have Hangman versus Joey Janella with Sonny. Hangman wins with the buckshot lariat. Thoughts and scores?
I really like this match, and this match was fucking brutal. Those boys were kicking the shit out of each other.
I've got pay-per-view in 2 days.
Fuck. Solid wrestling start. You could tell Joey was having some fun. Yeah, it wasn't the fastest match, but fuck, those boys were in each other hard. Didn't actually get a lot of commentary down because it was just a brutal brawl. There was a brilliant bit on commentary as well where they were laughing about Excalibur getting the rub off Taz and him making it want to fucking push next and stuff, which was a nice bit of humour in what was just a brutal match. The fucking snapping buckle suplex on Hangman from Joey looked like it was going to kill him. There was at least 2 sets of hard-way blood in this. Just a fucking great fight. I gave it a high C/B because we didn't really know why it was going on. But I really enjoyed the match, so I'm gonna let you boys convince me either way.
This is what I needed afterwards. It just brought me back to actually be slightly interested in the show again. I really enjoyed it. The commentary was funny because it was Taz and Excalibur, and they should be part of the main commentary team. It's what we need, just someone with fucking life in it.
Yeah, 100%.
Just fucking brutal match, and I can't believe they were doing that 2 days before a pay-per-view. madness. But yeah, brought me back into it. I gave it a B.
Morgimus?
So, I think on the law of averages, I think we should give it a B. I gave it a high C also.
Yeah.
But I was unfortunately, I think I got distracted by something in the middle of this. I think somebody called or something and sort of broke the flow. But I know that I enjoyed it, so I think that's why I ended up giving it a high C. I don't think it was a fault of the match, and I think that Muir giving it the B pushes mine and your high C's. Maybe
Yeah, you know what?
edge.
It really brought them back. It actually
Hangman
brought me back
badass
into
as
giving a shit about the
fuck
show.
With blood, with that
Yeah,
blood
mate.
streaming down his face.
Blessed Hangman.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Let's make it a B. They made me care about this show again, so
Yes.
that's good.
Following on from that, Taz cuts a quick promo, Cage comes out, Hangman cuts a quick promo, Hook and Starks come out. What did you think of this little segment?
I really liked it. I liked when Hangman was like, "Yeah, here they come through the crowd," like pointing them out and stuff. Great. I liked him basically sort of teasing them to the point where, Cage angrily refused to do it. Yeah, really, really good. Nice storytelling for what we've had last night, what you're getting tonight, and what we're reviewing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good stuff. I like it, and I like it when they acknowledge that these things happens, and he could be like, "Look, this is what you do. You come from here and here." I love moments like that where somebody watches the show basically. Good stuff. Blessed Hangman.
It builds up Cage very well because it shows that he has some sort of honor system, even if he is, a bit of a brute. So, it's good for that build for what we all said in our ratings of that he's going to turn and or whatever. So I think it's good.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good, and I thought it was a bit different. And once again, we showed intelligent babyface.
Yeah.
Rather than the usual.
He's had so much shit. It's extra believable with his lightly jaded attitude.
The other thing
there they are, coming again. Mate.
You've got to remember, part of Hangman's thing is that he might be a cowboy, but he's got the degrees and he's really intelligent. So I think it's
drunken, anxious millennial cowboy.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Following on from one great promo, we moved on to a Mox and Kingston promo. Thoughts?
That started, then went to break, then started again. I love them together.
That again,
I think
that was Fight TV. I'm not convinced that is how it actually went. I can't remember why.
I don't know.
But they've
got so many production problems all the time. Who knows? Anyway, I quite like Burying the Shoes. I like them together. They always get a solid B out of me. I enjoy their bands. I like the fact they could be crazy or straight man for each other, depending on who's in the thing. It was the Burying the Shoes one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Good. I've got the correct notes. Yeah, I like them together. They give me the kecks.
They are brilliant together. I love them calling them Rod and Todd Flanders. That made me laugh because, Simpsons.
You're a Simpsons mark.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, it was solid. I like these two together. They're never going to, be bad generally. So, solid from me.
It's Mox and Eddie. It's Mox and Eddie.
Mate.
It's a lesson in promos. Just to reiterate again, because I pointed it out to the Raptor and we were discussing it. That thing that I think we commented on it last week, where when they're both on, and I think it's one of the things that makes their double promos even better, is the other one always moving and doing things in the background, and it doesn't draw your attention away. It focuses your attention, but there's always motion, and it just makes the promo so much better than tag team promos where you just have the two of them standing there and one of them shouts, a la FTR.
Yeah. Petey Williams.
As good as
Yeah. Sorry.
So, moving on from there. Right, this is I've got a lot of waffle on this one. Orange Cassidy answers if he will defer his title match. Then Pat comes out and cuts a promo. Don Callis on the screen. Kenny tries to blindside Pac. Tries to blindside Pac. That fails because Pac's ready for him. The Good Brothers attack Pac. Best friends interrupt. Cassidy hands Kenny the contract. Kenny opens it up. It's been shredded. And then both Pac and Kenny eat a orange punch and sell it like fucking champions, both of them. They sold that move like they'd been hit with a 10-ton sledgehammer. What did you guys think?
I love Pac. I love the fact Pac just went, no, this is my section. And I liked smart heel Don Callis going, no, I'm not coming down there. You'll beat me up.
Yeah.
I always enjoy when it goes dubsy-dub. I can't say anything in this really blew my mind, but it was some solid wrestling. You know what I mean? It was all right. If I had to bring a criticism to it, I will take the criticism of the biggest Orange Cassidy fan I know, Zach, who stated that he didn't think that Orange Cassidy would come out and just one-punch everyone. That's not who his character is. And I was like, well, all right, you know. That's a criticism from more an Orange... Not that I dislike Orange Cassidy, but, you know. I can't say it blew my mind anyway. I gave it a cheeky C. It was some fine entertainment in the middle of the show.
Anything to add to that, Mr. Muir?
Not really. I think, you know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it's just, you know.
It was wrestling.
Yeah, it was standard. And I think, you know, I don't like how powerful Orange Cassidy punches either. I think it's just like, you know, he's meant to be, I guess they're trying to sell him as a higher carder, but I don't know. It is what it is.
At least they're pushing the people who are ridiculously over. Or
true.
Sell the massive amounts of merch. And the way they've done it is by making his punch this. And as I say, Kenny and Pac sold that so well. But the thing and yes, we're a little bit more jaded, you know, we review this. We don't always watch it. But the thing I remember most from it is not Orange Cassidy's amazing punch. It's how well the other two sold it. And I appreciate that.
Pac sounds like he's a dying spider.
They were both amazing. I think they both flew back about 6 foot. Anyway, moving on from there, we had a Jade Cargill interview. Matt Hardy interrupts. Mark Sterling stops Matt, and we now know that Mark Sterling is definitely working for Jade Cargill. I want to say quickly beforehand, I thought this was the best Jade Cargill promo we've had. Because she didn't talk.
That's written down on my notes.
Yeah.
She didn't talk.
It's the best Matt Hardy we've had in some time as well. Like him against shit lawyer man, and him telling him like, you know, why he's doing those, going to get a restraining order and how he should be making money and stuff. Yep. I thought was great. I want a feud between Hardy and him because we know he can take bumps, but there's no way he'll get into a match because he's not a wrestler. It's the gimmick I always wanted to see. A man who just shit talks people, then goes, you can't do anything to me. I'm not a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
Best Jade yet. Stick them together. I gave it a B. I want to see where this goes. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed this. I like that they're giving Jade someone that's a bit, you know, shit tier just to be beaten up around her or cause issues. To keep us, you know, clean if she needs to lose and stuff like that. So I think it's solid. Good wrestling booking.
Me and the Raptor have noticed a problem with Jade Cargill. There is no one on the roster who can step up to her the way they are booking her. And that worries me. And then I realised who it should be. I want to see Layla Hirsch be the one to topple Jade Cargill.
Oh. Layla Hirsch, I'm here to fold you into 4 million places.
Yes.
70 arm bars.
Yes.
Fucking
So that's my a person I want to talk, because I don't want because the Raptors made that. I suppose it's going to have to be face Nyla. Well, that doesn't work. But I was like, no, Layla Hirsch. That'd be amazing. She's like 4 foot nothing.
If you don't have somebody who can outpower your powerhouse, you take them down with somebody who wrestles. And Layla Hirsch is, you know, the technical monstrosity. That's how they've been building her, basically. So, I'm with you. Let's do this.
Following on from that, Jade Cargill with Mark Sterling versus Kylan King, and Cargill wins with the Jaded. Thoughts and scores?
Oh, from a really good promo that got me reinvested in Jade. This match, Kylan got an intro and was the second one into the ring. I thought that was actually pretty cool. A little bit of respect for Kylan, who I've been cheering for since she first showed up on Dark. Then we get a slow start to the match, straight into picture-in-picture. And it actually got a bit better in the break. Jay did some moves and stuff. And then it stopped being cool after the break. Even commentary started talking about other things. It was slow and boring. The break was actually kind of exciting. Then it was slow and lame, and it finished, and I gave it a D.
I'm not adding anything to this. It's a D.
Nick's just like, no, fuck this match.
I think you're going to have to use the same rule we used earlier. I gave it a low C, only because, as I stated before with the early match, it was a match, and I will only generally give a D to something that is just a pure squash. There was some back and forth, but it was a match, and it is not a match I'm ever going to remember or going to want to go back and watch. And this was your 5 minutes of women's wrestling, folks. Sign up for AEW Heels.
Please sign up for AEW Heels.
Woo! The women's. Didn't even get Wardlow.
So, moving on from
but
that...
once again, from a bad moment...
we had a Jake Roberts and Lance Archer promo. Thoughts?
What a good side shift to face. It was very cleverly, subtly, and we've been seeing it building, but Lance's quote of, no offense to Dante, and I hope the kid has a good match, I was like, he's still being this arrogant destruction machine, but that was such a... It hasn't gone, yo, he's a face, and he's definitely not at baby face levels, but he just slid in enough that I was like, subtle good work. And it's how they used to use Jake. Jake is here to do beat up the face or heel as appropriate.
Yeah.
Slide him a little bit. Once again, I can't say it was amazing, but I gave it a B. It was a lovely little subtle way to go, yeah, this is where he is. Sort of bury the match afterwards, but we knew what was going to happen anyway. Yeah. So, I really liked it. Very clever stuff, and my love for Lance has only grown since he's arrived in the company. He's great.
Yeah, this was a good, solid promo, and it's a B from me. There's not much to add from what you said. The only problem with this match is there's such a pointless, the Dante match afterwards. It's like, oh, I wonder who's winning, Pointless.
I don't feel that was ever in any doubt.
No.
But oh, how we change our opinions on people. Probably my favourite.
Yes, mate.
My top face at the moment is probably Lance Archer. But he is becoming what I have been saying since day one I've wanted. A badass monster face.
Yeah, you've been going for the monster face.
I've wanted a
juggernaut who just comes in, smashes and leaves.
That guy who Kenny Omega can sell it when he goes, oh, there's nobody who can beat me, and Lance Archer's music hits, and he can just sell the, oh, shit. I really enjoyed this, and it was a B. Moving on from there, awesome. Dante Martin versus Miro for the TNT Championship. Miro wins with the game over. I think I know what scores you're giving it, but thoughts and scores.
Yeah, you might be surprised. This had Big 80's energy. Don't have a lot to say on it, don't get me wrong. It wasn't the best match. It wasn't the longest match. Miro's music clip played halfway through it, because I assume somebody backstage thought the match was over.
Yeah.
But Miro's not a squasher. He gave Dante some spots, let him look active, then he came back and beasted him. For me, it was a fine squash. It didn't come across as just bitching the kid. It wasn't over in 30 seconds, and I actually rolled it all the way up to a C, Morg. Yeah.
I think it crawls under the line of a C, but it was such a pointless match. I think it makes it to C, but like you said, Miro.
We had spent the entire episode going, I think he can take him. I think he's going to win it.
I think he's got him, boys. with his superior speed, he could surely win.
He did not win.
No. But yeah,
Right, Morg, are you dragging it back down to a D, or are you sticking on the?
See, it was a low C, just because it was so short. I think if they'd have had a bit more time, maybe if the weigh-in hadn't been so long and you gave these two a bit more time, because like you said, Miro's not a squasher; he's a really good wrestler. I think these two would have had a really good match. The thing I wanted to comment on was the mistake of bringing Miro in as a heel. Did you hear that crowd at the beginning chanting "Miro's gonna kill you," which is the baby, which
You're
is
allowed
the
to
monster.
Cheer heels now, Morg.
You're allowed to cheer heels more.
You don't chant "Miro's gonna kill you." That is the monster face chant that Samoa Joe got when he turned. It's the chant that any of those characters
Cage had in Lucha Underground when he was a heel.
Yeah.
Well, was he really? But he turned not long after.
He punched a man's head off.
But the guy was a
trolled him.
I feel that Miro was so over as a babyface in Dub Z when he left that I think they didn't capitalize on that, and they've gone back to the Bulgarian Brute. But you're telling a different story. You can turn him eventually. Following on from that, Jake and Lance come out and cut a promo on Miro, and I fucking loved this. But what did you guys think?
Sick him. That was great. Miro's mic not working made me laugh. Bless Jake, obviously. I mean, he just made gibberish noises for Bulgarian. Lance is doing great. I like Sick him. I can't say I loved it. I gave it a C. I was entertained. We knew something like it was coming. Good wrestling stuff, but like a more wholesome C than a crawl under the line C. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good
it's
stuff.
a middle of the ground C. It was funny. It was good enough.
Sick him. And Jake looks healthy, and that made me feel happy.
Yeah, I didn't. The Raptor commented on that. He looked really good. Yeah, I didn't give it a B or anything. It was a C. But I just liked the fact Miro going, "Oh, you're going to hold him back again. You're going to hold him back again," and Jake sort of going, "No, get him." Nah. And so we also broke that paradigm they've had with Jake's always holding him back to don't interfere yet. I really enjoyed that. Moving on from there. We had the celebration of Shida's championship run, and Britt Baker interrupts. What did you guys think?
This was awkward.
I forgot I've given this a B, but not because of how they wanted it. I just kept laughing all the way through.
It was so good.
Fucking diamond belt. It shines with the slavery of the mines of Africa. It's the same belt at 120%. They went back to the belt people like, we want a new belt, and they're like, what do you want? And they just got the picture of the old belt up on MS Paint and just dragged the corner out a bit. I just couldn't stop laughing. Admittedly, when Brit's music's played, Shida's face was fucking golden. She looked probably like, I am so sick of this
this woman.
And it was fucking great. There was some good Britting at the end. I gave it a B, and whilst I'm remembering it, I'm still laughing. I don't actually know if the section was good, but man, was I entertained, especially with the belt. It's just the same, but bigger.
What? It's really floppy, so it's real hard to get on someone. So they were just struggling for the whole time trying to get this belt on Shida. She's just holding it, looking awkward. I'm just like, oh, fuck's sake, guys.
I don't know. I think Tony Schiavone was taking his time on purpose.
Fucking awful. I gave it a B also because it made me fucking laugh. It was just a belt, but bigger. Because we've mocked that small belt for fucking ages. Now they've just admitted
when it first came out, I kept photoshopping it onto like wristbands and being in the electrons and things and stuff like that. So it did need to be done. It did need to have a bigger belt, but I'd have gone with a new design if I'm honest. I'd have probably spiced up what I was doing a little bit more than plus 20%. Go on, Morgan. I'm just going to keep laughing about the belt.
I actually quite like that their women's belt. I prefer the new one because it doesn't look like a wristwatch. So I can understand why they just made a bigger version. But when you're unveiling a new belt, I'm sorry, you unveil a new belt. Yep. You do something new and different. You paint it blue or something.
Whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, it was all right. I didn't really get it. Was a C for me. It was all right.
We've rolled it up to a B just because me and Muir kept laughing.
That's fair. Following on,
and that face when the music played was great.
Oh yes,
yes. I'm gonna. Yeah, that was some proper good face acting from Sheeta. Of fuck this bitch. Sorry guys, some bees have just gone past.
I was going to say you being attacked by a swarm there. Following on from that, Sammy with the title cards out in the crowd. Any thoughts?
Couldn't stop laughing at that one woman who kept getting closer to him to try and get the cards off him when he was throwing them to the crowd. Otherwise, I don't care for these bits. I've said it before. I don't rank them. Like, I'm sure it was better when he was heel.
Yeah.
Basically, in my opinion.
I thought this one was better. To be fair, the best of these was the one when he was feuding with Hardy when Hardy was a face and Hardy had magically transformed the cards.
If he's going to do anything, I want the full sacrifice promo.
Yeah, I liked the hit you up bit at the end for the old thing. But yeah, it was all right. I did enjoy them more when he was a heel.
With just all of Scott Steiner's promo just written on them and just one a week. That'd be wonderful.
Be great. Following on from that, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky versus the OG Dark Order. Page wins with the Ego's Edge. Thoughts and scores?
Pretty good match. I like Team Ego. I've been talking about how much I like. I shouldn't call them Team Ego because that's just one member of their tag team. But their thing is they're arrogant, so I'm going to let it slide. I love seeing the OG Dark Order in the ring. I fucking love Uno's trickster build. He starts this match with some fucking wonderful wrist work. We get to see his where he just grabs somebody's leg and just pulls it so they just fall over and then stamps on their hands and stuff. I love him. Stu Grayson springboard over the rope DDT to the apron.
Fucking ludicrous.
What the fuck was that? He's phenomenal. And, coupled with Uno's shitty moveset of I poke you in the eye and stuff. Uno's possibly got the best flatliner in the business. It's wonderful. I don't want to put down the other two. They were having a great match. But I've said Scorpio Sky's great a million times. I've said I really like Ethan Page a bunch of times, and I love the Ego's Edge as one of my favourite finishers. But although they lost this match, fucking Dark Order, they owned every step of it. It was great. I did only give it a C. I don't think it quite overstepped into match +1, but the spots and the heart of it, even with the sort of lack of story realistically, other than a bit than we've chased you off sometimes. Good match. I enjoyed it. But I would happily accept this as the standard of what a good C match should be.
It's correct. If this match had some better story going into it a little bit more, I think it would have been a B. But yeah, I enjoyed this match. It was good fun to watch. But then any match that has the original Dark Order in, I'm generally going to enjoy because I love their shenanigans and then use power moves. So, it's great.
OG Dark Order are my favourite kind of tag team. You've got one big guy and one sort of high flyer type, even though Uno doesn't move like a standard big guy. A couple of quick things I wanted to point out. One of the commentators, I can't remember if it was Shivani or JR, listens to the podcast. So, hi there. They stated that Stu Grayson is the most underrated, possibly one of the most underrated people on the card. Yes, we've been saying this for a while.
I'll add him to the list.
Yeah.
Hi, Tony.
I can't remember whether it was Tony or JR. It was JR. It was JR. So JR listens as well.
Thanks, JR.
Yeah.
Say hi to Shad for us.
Hi, mate, please.
And Matt and Nick. I really enjoyed this match. I gave it a high C. I feel there is a story that's going in here, but I don't think we're quite there yet. I think that Sting,
enough.
There is a lot of hint that Sting's going to be the new Dark Order leader. I don't know how that'll work on BTE when they're a bunch of lovable fucking idiots.
Just be Dad.
Well, no, you just don't have Sting get involved in those.
Yeah,
you don't.
Be Surfer Sting.
You just don't have. I don't think he can. I don't think he would enjoy doing them or would be as good at that kind of comedy. I think the idea of them being a bunch of kids and when Dad isn't around, because then Colt can just be just as stupid as well. And when Dad isn't around, they're just goofing off and being a bunch of idiots. And then when you've got their new leader there, they're not. I quite like that idea. So that's how I would book the new leader of the...
We'll see what they do.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. Following on from that, Paige and Sky have an in-ring promo. Darby and Sting interrupt, coming out full WCW with an army of Stings. And then, of course, which one the real one is. And they get there.
With Sting's hairline.
Yeah. Raptor, there's only one of them with grey hair.
Morg, you and I have disagreed in the past on the state of no-selling things. I've said there's some good no-sells. You didn't like a lot of Lance's no-sells. I said he's evolved in different ways, like rolling with the strike, but then turning back to no-selling. That was the worst no-selling I've ever seen from Sting. It was like fighting. It was like fighting a fully coked up Ultimate Warrior. We had full fucking swung punches, and he didn't even like register the kinetic energy that would be there. He just stood there and went, "No."
Unfortunately, that is classic Sting, and it's not necessarily something I always like. That is full old school WCW Sting. So it was just standard Sting to me, and it was standard Sting or Hogan.
Otherwise, this was just normal WCW style thing. Some people in masks came out. One of them was Sting. We saw some terrible no-sell. I didn't rate it because I didn't really want to bring the show down any further because I can't say I enjoyed this moment. I think there's better ways to do your oh fuck it Stang moments than that.
It was just a pop. It was just the classic WCW Sting thing. I get it, but it wasn't for me. So it was solid enough.
Yeah, it was alright. It's alright.
It's alright.
I think there were much cooler ways they could have done it. I would have done lights go out, there's a shock, and then I would have just had the ring surrounded by people in Sting masks. And then lights go out and they all vanish. And play the old school Sting mind games. But I appreciate you've got a full live crowd and you want
that Sting pop.
You want them to see Sting. So I kind of...
It is what it is, I know.
Yeah. Following on from that, we had the main event, which was the celebration of the Inner Circle, hosted by Eric Bischoff. Raptor called it.
Bischoff.
Raptor called it that Bischoff was one of the people that Jericho called to apologise when he called people up to apologise. Going to give her a shout out for that. Following on from that, we have MJF on the screen with Dean Malenko having been beaten up. The Inner Circle rush out to try and save him, and the Pinnacle jump them, and that's how it ends. What did you guys think of this, and did you give it a score?
Bischoff's got a fucking intro.
He does.
Just throwing that out there. Bischoff has his own intro. And he's great on the mic, but that was a great setup for him. We get some Blessed Dad Santana time. He's got big dad energy. Always goes a bit high school theatre with the Inner Circle. A bit like often feels a bit too much like they're doing a presentation and there's actually no like organic chemistry there. But I don't always hate it. But this needed to go dubsy-dub earlier than it did. They were hung up on themselves a bit too much. For some reason, every one of them has to talk in order. Just, skip it down. I appreciate giving everybody time, but it went on a bit long. Then we got big screen MJF. Oh no, they've got Dean Malenko. What a surprise. It's an ambush. Dubsy-dub.
That's brilliant.
I enjoyed the dubsy-dubness of it. I did quite enjoy watching poor Jericho trying to keep up with all of his much younger and much fitter stable.
Mate.
So they're fucking like dun 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 dun, and you got at the background.
Yes.
Then after the ambush, it just got a bit too set up for me. That one pile driver through the table almost went fucking wrong. Hair FTR. We had to go back to that. Wardlow deciding to do the howls for his War Dog thing is a thing I think we can skip, Wardlow. We love you, Wardlow. You are literally the Giga Chad. You increase the women's demographic by 20%. And we all want to look like you. But don't do the howls. Tony, Nick, and Shad, tell him. No howls, Wardlow. Don't ruin it for us. Otherwise, I can't say I hated it. I think it should have been shorter. I think the ambush could have been a little bit more dramatic than necessarily going out to the arena. I know you're trying to go, it's the Stadium Stampede, but we know you're in a stadium. You could do it by the stairs or the pool or whatever. Didn't hate it. It's just wrestling, I suppose, so I'm giving it a C.
It was a solid C. It was a fun way to, get to where they got to. Trying to build up the Stadium Stampede. Poor Dean Malenko. I think my favourite part was poor Jericho trying to keep up with everybody else legging it. And then he's just like, oh no. Yeah. Oh, yeah, solid C, and it got me ready for Stadium Stampede.
So on this episode of How Morg Would Have Booked, as we've just done the How I Would Have Booked the Sting thing, and a quick addition to the Sting thing, I also wouldn't have had either of the side get the upper hand with the other on that Sting one at all. This one, I would have filmed the bit where the Inner Circle run into the stadium earlier that day and literally had them just run into the area they're going to do the match in and then get jumped by the Pinnacle and done all the stuff. I appreciate you giving away a little bit of the Stadium Stampede for free, but you're kind of not in the slightest. And you'd have set up, you could have had the broken tables there ready for the match that I'm going to watch later and things like that. And I'd have videoed it, and because you could have just cut to it. The crowd don't know how long it takes them to run there. Soon as they've gone outside the back, you could have had cuts to them
good point.
Emerging out into the stadium.
Yeah.
And even if they do, they don't care. We buy into wrestling, so we on the podcast may have made a joke about it. Well, they got there a bit quick, didn't they? But I think on the whole, it would have looked better. I think them being attacked where they were in the area that Matt Hardy got massively injured was probably not the best idea. And it was a bit scrappy. I gave it a low C. I thought the first bit dragged on too long.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
It dragged
I
down a
don't
bit
think
too
it
long.
deserves to get dragged down to a D.
No.
But yeah, I'm with you.
But yes, and it didn't hype me for the Stadium Stampede. Fortunately, last year's Stadium Stampede hyped me for it, so they're pretty safe on that.
Yes, mate.
So, there you have it. That's our review.
Maintain that hype.
Of Dynamite. So, guys, Mr. Strange, using the power of letter maths, have we had
we've got like 20 ranks.
Terrible go-home show?
Well, according to the combination of everything from promos to recaps to segments, we've actually got like a high C match. It's earned a lot of points. We quite liked it. It was we got won over by Jade's new possible gimmick. We really enjoyed the Joey Hangman hardcore match. A lot of very good stuff in there. However, if we just look at like the matches and if we did this as a percentage cut of the show, shall we say, how much time each bit took up, let's just say it wouldn't. It would scrape into the C's if we were being merciful. But overall, according to our grades, it's a high C/B. We enjoyed this show, and it was good enough, shall we say.
So there you have it. If you'd like to tell us what you thought, or if you want to tell us what you think about anything, you want to ask us to book something for you, or just give your general thoughts on AEW, get in touch with us. We are wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, and WrestleOP1 on Twitter. I nearly screwed that up because I don't have it written down in front of me this week.
Morg.
I know. We aren't going to be having a rant of the week today. So you need to join us tomorrow when Mr. Strange has promised me a rant in the middle of the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. So if you would like one of our rants, that will be happening tomorrow. That being said, that is pretty much all for our show this week. We've done a short show because we've got the Double or Nothing to review tomorrow. You can find us Wrestleopinionated on YouTube, Spotify and Anchor.fm. I want to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. Over to you, Mr. Muir.
Thank you very much for listening. And moving over to Strange, because I've got nothing more to say, because I'm about to fall asleep. And I'm struggling to stay awake.
It's alright, I've got you covered, bro. Just fucking slam your face into that like and subscribe button. Share this to all of your family, whether they like wrestling or not, be them under the age of 8 and not ready to hear adult swearing, or OAPs who will love it. Like, share, subscribe, ride it on a cow, send us some shit in. We love having stuff to discuss, things to rip on, and things for me to get angry about. I'll make up a comedy wrestling name for you to announce you. But yeah, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening. Back to you, Morg.
All that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.